Viva Real Estate for the Americas, where we interview local market experts. Today I'm with David Biondolilo. He is the owner of Baja 123, a real estate brokerage in Baja, California. David, can you tell us a little bit more about what you do in Baja and a little bit more about your company?
Our company is going into its fourth year, and we started out primarily considering being a marketing company for Mexico. And our experience, and when I say our, it's my son and I are the owners of Baja 123. His name is Canoa. Him and I have worked together now. He's 38 years old, and we've worked together for many, many years. Our previous industry, which was the cellular business, and then in the real estate business, where we personally are real estate agents with licenses in California. We came down to Mexico to look at the opportunity in 2005, and it was the whole world was doing well, and so was Mexico. And we came and looked at this area of Mexico because of the proximity to the United States. I was thinking personally of Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. My son said, let's not jump that far. Let's take a look at something close because we're living in Los Angeles. And so we came down here and started looking at the development that was taking place. I've been coming to this area of Mexico since 1960, and it hadn't changed much, just a little at a time, except in this last 4 years or so. There's been incredible growth. There's a lot of developments that have been built, and the target market is American and Canadian market. So that's why we came here. I didn't think that I was going to come to Mexico to live, but once I started living down here, I've just recently moved everything that I had in the United States to Mexico, and I'm going to be living here for a while.
Sounds good. Now, what's the attraction? Why do people want to go to Mexico? Why do they move or retire to Mexico?
There's a few reasons. One of them is the value that you get for your money. My money goes far there in Mexico, not only in real estate, but everywhere. I can get my car washed for $4. I can get my house cleaned for $30, where in the States it would have cost me, $10 to $15 for a car wash, $90 to have somebody come in and clean the house once a week. And you see it in all areas of spending where there's the value here, your money goes further. Since I've come here, I've recently gone on to Social Security, and now with the fixed income of that, revenue, it goes a lot further.
Tell us, you're in Baja, California?
I'm in the state of Baja, California Norte. There's two states in the Baja Peninsula. There's Baja Norte and Baja Sur, south. So I'm in the northern state, and we border the United States at San Diego. So when I cross, I'm only 30 minutes to get to the border, and depending on the day, the crossing time can be anywhere between 30 minutes to a couple of hours. So I try to time my crossings to be when there's not a lot of, or as little traffic as possible. The border crossing at San Diego, San Ysidro, is the most traveled border crossing in the world. More people cross there than any other border crossing on the planet. So it's a very active border.
Can you give us an idea of pricing, when we compare San Diego or parts of Southern California with the northern part of the Baja Peninsula? What are we looking at in terms of beachfront property and the price difference there?
Beachfront property along the coast from California into Mexico has held its price compared to inland property. So even though we are in a down market where property has changed value from 2005 to 2009, we are still holding prices. There's only so much oceanfront. If you would go into San Diego County, there's places in there where it would cost you between 5 and 10 times the amount it would cost you to just go down 50 miles into Rosarito and be on the ocean. The prices down here, oceanfront, start in $100,000 to $200,000 for lots, and they go up from there. You can buy condos that are in developments that are oceanfront, beautiful condo developments, and you can get in starting at, let's say, $200,000 and up.
And who's mainly buying in Mexico? Is it retirees, investors, people looking for a second home? Describe the profile of someone buying in Mexico.
The profile has changed in the last few years from where investors were coming in and buying 10, 12 condo units in a building at a time. So now we find that the investors are buying land, raw land, and the retirement community and the second home community are buying the condo developments. What we're seeing are people that are in close proximity to the area where they can drive. They can fill their car up with their family and their friends and drive down into Mexico. That's the advantage, because to go to the other popular places, which are Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, to name just a few, you have to get on an airplane. And to put a mother, a father, and 2 children on an airplane, it's way different than putting them in a car. And so we see a lot of activity from the west coast of the United States and Canada, and the states of California, and Nevada, Arizona, and even Texas.
Okay, great. Another question, kind of changing the topic a little bit. I know safety is an important issue for many Americans, and sometimes you read in the newspaper, you hear about things that are happening in Mexico with maybe drug cartels. Talk a little bit more about that, and tell us what your experience has been in terms of safety.
Okay. The primary question that was asked to us when we first came here was, won't the Mexican government take my land? And we addressed that by the current laws in Mexico provide trusts to overcome that situation. You're as safe here as you are in the U.S. or Canada. The question now has changed from that question to what's the safety situation in Mexico. The question is asked because there's a lot of activity with the drug cartels vying for a position to bring the drugs in from South America into the United States. And so because of that, probably 2 to 3 years ago, there was an arrest made by the U.S. government of a fellow named Felix, who was the major drug cartel. So with him being arrested, it kind of cut the head off of the body, and there's been factions in the drug cartel are opting for a position for being number one. So because of that, they've got their drug cartel people shooting each other. Most of the news, when you see deaths in Mexico, these people are involved in drugs. So when my clients call and ask me, what's the safety situation, I ask them, do you sell drugs? And they say no, and I go, okay, then you shouldn't have a problem. My 88-year-old mother is down here in Mexico with me, and she's at home alone all day. She doesn't work. She feels safe. Our office is on the main street of Rosarito. We're not far from the Rosarito Beach Hotel. Everybody is doing what they normally do, walking in and out of restaurants, walking in and out of tourist shops, just carrying on normally. What we do see and what we do like is there is a military presence, which is the Army. You'll see federales, which is would be like the California Highway Patrol in California, and then you see local police. And we see them in numbers that we've never seen before. When somebody's coming down to look at property or to visit into our area, they ask us, what about all of these armed soldiers? And we go, we're glad to have them because they reduce the number of crimes that we have in our area. They're an obvious visual presence of the result of this crime, so that the government is taking an active participation in it. It doesn't help anyone when the newspapers, the televisions in the United States just have these headlines that aren't really true compared to what is actually happening. They say that it's a war zone down here. It's not. It's very safe. I walk to my home from the office for lunch, and I walk all over the streets. It's very calm.
We're going to wrap it up here. Really appreciate you taking the time to answer some of these questions, and I think you gave some really good insight into what it's like in the local market there. Hopefully anyone who's listening to this can either contact you with any questions about buying real estate or living in the area.
The easiest way to get a hold of us, our website is simple. It's www.baja123.com.